Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, for taking time out of your busy schedule to be able to connect with USGBC. We're excited to have a conversation with you this morning and talk about the future of USGBC and our upcoming activities and programs as we navigate the current pandemic and our new normal. I know I'm joining you today from my basement, where I've locked the door to hopefully keep my 3 and 5-year-old coworkers out of the space. I'm sure many of you guys have been dealing with similar situations with kids and animals and other family members and things like that, but we're all doing the best we can. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And I know we'd much rather be together today on the beautiful campus of Michigan State University, but we will look forward to convening there in the future together in person at a later date once things are safe and calm. Until then, I hope we all stay safe and really just continue to move our mission forward and create healthy and sustainable buildings for all. Want to thank ARC. They're helping us present these events all week through our town hall, so want to thank them. USGBC is committed to a sustainable, prosperous future for LEED, the leading program for green buildings and communities worldwide. Our second generation is all about 4 pillars: sustainability, health and wellness, resilience, and equity. When we think about USGBC and LEED, we think about each of these topics and how they can be leveraged to raise the living standard for all. The Living Standard is a campaign, and it's all about helping people and companies tell their sustainability stories. You'll notice our programs, events, articles, and all of our work locally will reflect these 4 pillars and talk about LEED v4.1, membership, and LEED performance. And I should say, my name is Lana Kraus, and I'm the Director of Community for both Indiana and Michigan, and work regionally throughout the area. Sorry I didn't introduce myself to start off this morning. Wanted to share, so for 10 years, USGBC has been tracking and celebrating the top 10 states with the most gross square footage of LEED certified space added in each state over the years. So this is the current list we have in our region, which consists of Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan. Illinois is in the top 10. They are number 2. They've been in the top 10 actually all 10 years that we have been putting out this ranking. We would love to see Michigan aspire to join this list next year. So together, hopefully we can work on that. So what we're doing here overall is this is part of our town hall events. In our normal world, we would be there in person. Mahesh Ramanujam, our president and CEO, would be joining me, and we would be traveling around to 4 cities in our region to really connect with everyone locally within our communities. Obviously, in this kind of upside down world right now, we are doing it virtually, but we hope to be able to connect again in person. We were in our area last October, and we're excited to do it again this year. So yesterday we were in Illinois, up in Chicago area. Today we're here in Michigan. Tomorrow we'll be in Indiana, and Thursday we'll be in Ohio. So if you have any colleagues in those areas in Indiana or Ohio that want to jump on, please let us know and we'll make sure we get them the information. As you can see, these events have been held all over the region. We've had one that we did in the Pacific area in February, and the rest will be, and that one was in person. The rest of them will all be virtual throughout the year. So again, if you have colleagues in any of these areas and want to get them connected, please just let me know. We were going to be rolling out a new regional conference for our region called Building a Resilient Heartland Now. We were going to be debuting this in June of this year, but in light of the current pandemic and situation, we decided to wait and postpone that in-person event until 2021. But we are going to be building out a road to a resilient heartland event. So we're going to be creating a webinar series each month. We're going to be taking topics out to be able to really still share details and information that we'd hope to provide in that full day conference and really put them out as communication and education throughout the year. And then we will be very excited to convene in early 2021 next year. But you can see there's other conferences happening around the country. Some are in a virtual state. If they've not already taken place. Impact is coming up very soon on May 5th, just to our neighbors in the West North Central region. So if you are interested in that, definitely we can get you the information and details so you can join. This is kind of a listing of the topics that we're planning to roll out for that Road to a Resilient Heartland. You can see there's the usgbc.org/events. That's where all of our events for all of our communities are listed. Please go back and check that page often. We do post new education opportunities all the time, so please do check that out. So, what you could do now to get involved, although we can't convene in person, you can still get involved. You can still help support USGBC and our mission and support your local communities. You can join as a member, either as an individual or through your company membership. You can sign up for our newsletters or join our social media campaigns. You can register for the virtual events or get involved in committees. We have a lot of great committees with our communities, and we would love to get you involved. One way to also stay engaged is actually this afternoon as part of our town halls. We have a lead technical workshop that's going to be focused on operations and maintenance. That's taking place from 12:30 to 4:30 today. You can still definitely register. It will be offered for 3 lead-specific continuing education credits as well as AIA credits. So if you are interested or any of your colleagues, please do have them join that workshop. It's going to be great. So we have local communities to support our sustainability efforts in Michigan. The Detroit region community covers the east half of the state, and then we have the West Michigan chapter, which covers the west half of the state. This here is an image of our awesome Detroit region volunteers that dedicate their time and energy to supporting sustainability in our state. I work with them very closely, and they're an awesome group of people, and I really, truly just appreciate everything they do for USGBC. They help to provide education and engagement opportunities throughout our local community. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our annual sponsors, Herb Family Foundation, Duralast, Patrick and Karen Smithbauer, and NOR. They all really help support our activities locally in the Detroit region throughout the year. Some specific events we have coming up. We are going to be, in addition to the monthly regional webinars, which are going to be focused on the road to resilient Heartland, the USGBC Detroit region community will host a community webinar series. We will have information that we'll be sending out to you about those opportunities. We'll do some virtual case studies to be able to kind of show a tour in a virtual setting. We'll have engagement opportunities, lead specific education, and more just general education. Then we also do a lot of really cool things with our community. We have a My Green Schools art contest, which is going on right now through the end of the month, where children in grades K through 5 can do art projects and then submit them in virtually, and we'll be having a competition and award ceremony around that. So we're excited about that. We also have a student design competition for higher education. We do building and volunteers award. We have women in green events and lots of other things. So get involved if you're not already. We have events throughout the year where we are able to bring a lot of different attendees together, either in person or virtually in this new space. And really that education and events that we do is to support our 140 plus member companies within the state of Michigan. And then we have over 3,600 credential holders that we are also supporting through that education. Here's a little bit of a snapshot on the projects, the LEED certified projects and registered projects as well in Michigan. You'll see here we have our 3 outstanding, our 3 projects that won our 2019 Outstanding Sustainable Design Awards that we offered last year. So we're very excited to be able to recognize those winners. And then, as I mentioned, our friends and partners over on the west half of Michigan for the West Michigan chapter, they run and host education and competition events. So definitely check out their website for details about things coming up. In fact, they have a webinar this Thursday from 10 to 11 about indoor air quality in the workplace. So if you're interested in that, definitely see their website to join. Again, Lana Kraus with USGBC. I am your local partner and friend, and you can reach out to me anytime you need anything. I'm here to help support your sustainability efforts. So I'd like to thank you all again for being here and joining us this morning. I hope you take away that we're here to support your sustainability efforts and look forward to contacting and working with you in the future. So please go ahead and reach out and get involved today. Now I'd like to turn it over to Dave Whittick, who is the COO of ARC.
Thank you, Lana. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with everybody today. I'm going to share a little bit about what we're working on with ARC and hope that it's something that works with the daily efforts that you have today. And if you're one of the 35 projects that are already participating in ARC from Michigan, I want to thank you for that. ARC's a technology platform which is focused on the performance of your project. I'm sure everybody's building as you built it or retrofitted it, had the best designer, focused on the most efficient products, everything's good for the environment. And then when it was time to build it, you had the best builder, everything was followed exactly to spec, and you were able to get the best out of your project. But then the people moved in. So is it still up functioning like you had designed it to? Are you still seeing the efficiencies that you had planned on? Could there be some new technologies out there that could help to improve your project? Um, at ARC, we are working with 9,500 projects that represent more than 6.2 million occupants and over 3.5 billion square feet of space. We're helping these projects to track, measure, benchmark, and report the data on their energy, water, waste, transportation, and human experience, along with carbon emissions. By tracking and reacting to your project's performance in ARC, you're able to make energy adjustments and water adjustments, which will save you money through reduced energy consumption, through reduced operating consumption. Shown here is USGBC's annual energy consumption. With ARC, we're now tracking this near real time, which allows our facilities team to react quickly to any changes in use patterns. The bottom line on this chart is 2011, and that's our baseline year. You'll see it's about 1 million kilowatt hours of consumption. And then the top line is 2019, and we're at about 425,000 kilowatt hours. So nearly 600,000 kilowatt hours in savings per year, which equates to $80,000 in savings. And that's a every year savings, not a one-time savings. For ARC, it's important for us to meet you where you are. We want to provide an entry point for every project to get started, and now we have a suite of offerings that can allow you to do that. We recently launched ARC for All. What that means is every project everywhere can use ARC at no cost. All a project has to do is enter their data into ARC, and you'll get your performance score. It's that simple. So if you have LEED and non-LEED buildings in your portfolio, you can bring them all into ARC and manage and compare them in one place. Your data management and your reporting requirements become centralized and easier to track. We also recognize that not everybody can get LEED certification right out of the bat. Especially difficult is with existing buildings. We want to make sure that those buildings can also get started on their sustainability journey, as well as their incremental path towards LEED. For that, we've developed category level performance certificates. If you're interested in your energy rating, just enter your data and we'll give you an energy performance certificate and your energy performance score. You can complete each category, energy, water, waste, transportation, and human experience, one at a time. And if you achieve all 5, you'll be ready for LEED certification. A great example of this is in Brazil, where more than 350 schools are using our performance certificates. They're on their pathway towards LEED Zero for energy, but they want to show their stakeholders where they are today, and they're using performance certificates to show them that. Now, of course, if your ultimate goal is LEED, you can achieve LEED certification or recertification using your performance data through ARC. To assist with better understanding ARC and the importance of performance measurement in general, we're creating Performance Pro trainings. There'll be an introductory course as well as multiple in-depth classes. There'll be, in the future, segment-specific trainings coming along. All can be taken on demand and will earn you GBCI CE credits. We're also starting monthly user briefings in May to provide you with more support. Coming soon will be a new product from ARC, which will include a set of tools, features, and reports which will allow advanced users to gain even more insight into their projects. Some added abilities will include modeling changes to your score based on changes in performance, analysis at a portfolio level rather than just at a project level, and detailed reports which can be customized and exported for your use. We believe that performance is the future of green building, and we established the ARC Performance Platform to help people design, build, and operate buildings and spaces that benefit both people and the environment. We're holding webinars on May 6th and May 7th, so please plan to join us at one of those. But in the meantime, get started with ARC today. I want to thank you for your time today. And next, I'd like to introduce the President and CEO of USGBC and GBCI, Mahesh Ramanujam.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Lana. Thank you, Dave. And thank you for all of you to join us today this morning. And I hope that you and your families are all staying safe and healthy. At times like these, I am tempted to say how precious human life is and how fragile our world can be. But the truth is, we have never seen anything what we are experiencing today. Our strength and humanity have been tested throughout history, but what is unfolding around us will undoubtedly reveal new vulnerabilities and challenge our adaptability in unthinkable ways. Here at USGBC, and for those of us in the green building community, we spend the better part of our days talking about the need for our society to be more resilient, healthy, and equitable. And now, in the midst of COVID-19, we have the opportunity to help each other by sharing our best practices and our resilient behaviors with communities all over the world. The global foundation for sustainability we have set in place is indestructible. And even in the midst of an unprecedented public health crisis, I have no doubt that what all of us have built over the last generation of USGBC will endure. Our work and our mission have not stopped. In fact, they are more important now than ever before. We have the opportunity to gather under the common banner of humanity and champion a better quality of life for millions of people around the world. I find comfort in knowing that we will emerge a stronger community in the months and weeks ahead. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this community and that you've all taken the time to join us today to discuss how we can move forward together. On behalf of everyone at USGBC, I would also like to take this time to thank our healthcare and medical workers, emergency responders, our grocers, and all other essential workers who are working day in and day out to protect their communities and us. So without further ado, I'm excited to share some updates around LEAD and USGBC strategy as we enter our next generation as an organization. When USGBC was founded in 1993, we started with this mission to transform the places where we live, learn, work, and play within a generation. Back then, there was no defined green building community, no way to know if a building was truly green, and no agreed upon guidelines to help those who wanted to build that way. So we created LEAD. And as you know, the rest is history. Now we are in our second generation, one that focuses just not on new construction, but on the continuous improvements and performance of our spaces. With this ending comes a new beginning, and we are thrilled to take the future forward. At USGBC, we believe the greatest investment we can make is in each other. That's why we are an inclusive and diverse family of green builders from across the globe. We are a community of real estate leaders, developers, contractors, architects, engineers, educators, innovators, and companies working to build healthy, efficient, and equitable communities for all. Especially in times like these, I am so honored to be part of a community of leaders, particularly in this community, who are doing everything they can to help advance the cause. So thank you for everything you have done. Your work has fueled us over in the first generation. And I'm proud of what we have been able to accomplish together. And I'm even more excited about the future and optimistic for what we will build next. Here in Michigan, there are 142 member organizations, like DuPont, which has been a USGBC member since 1999 and is our longest running member company in the state. Michigan represents DuPont's second largest presence globally, and their vision is to lead in delivering construction solutions that will transform how lasting, affordable shelter is created. Their partnership with USGBC supports the company's belief that every person on the planet should have the opportunity to live, work, and play in safe, affordable, efficient, and durable buildings, and their commitment to help lead the transition to sustainability in buildings. I hope you know that membership is vital to our work. Members fund everything that we do and everything that I'll be talking about today. Without you, none of this work would be possible. You are investing in the future of green building with us. Together, we are building a sustainable future for all. And the baseline of that work as you know, is LEED. I wanted to give you all a quick update on how far we have come over our first generation and where we are headed with LEED in the future. 20 plus years ago, when we created LEED, we created a universally agreed upon holistic system for reducing environmental impact and providing a quality indoor environment, always with the goal of reducing carbon emissions and addressing climate change and risk. And today, green building has grown into a $1 trillion industry, and LEED has become the most widely used green building program in the world. It's a full-scale global movement. There are just a few milestones we have hit. 102,000 registered and certified LEED commercial projects. 2 million plus registered and certified residential units. Projects in 178 countries and territories, and 205,000 LEED APs developing, contributing, and implementing the LEED rating system across the world. Think about those numbers. Each of you has contributed to that legacy. You have helped improve your community through each project, each building, each credential. We have gone beyond awareness to adoption. And that's what I'm excited about. And you have helped ensure that LEED is not just a de facto leadership standard, but also a living standard with one simple message: better buildings equal better lives. Because of the work you are doing, people know that if they are in a LEED certified building, they're using less energy, less water, avoiding waste, saving on maintenance costs, improving indoor air quality, offering comfort to their occupants, and creating less environmental burden on their community. And most importantly, they know they are in a building that enhances health and wellness. But while most people are aware of the environmental and monetary benefits of green building, many still have not made the connection between these benefits and their own health and wellness. They don't understand that these buildings have a direct impact on their quality of life. Changing that perception is one of our main focuses in this new generation. After all, green building is all about people. And when we have better buildings, we live better lives. It's as simple as that. Now let's bring it back to Michigan. Here in Michigan, you are contributing towards these incredible numbers I just mentioned. You have hit 2,318 registered and certified LEED projects, totaling 194 million total square feet of space. And there are 3,678 LEED professionals directing this work across the state. If the first generation of LEED was about connecting the dots between awareness and adoption, about educating people on the impact of this work, then the second generation must be about accelerating adoption. And doing so through new metrics, new credits, new incentives, new goals, and new ways of implementing LEED at a time when the world needs it most. In our latest version of LEED, LEED version 4.1, we have not only raised our energy reference standard, but also added a carbon metric to the rating system for new and existing buildings. This way, we can directly measure the impact buildings are having on the climate as dictated by efficiency, on-site generation and storage, and the grid which it is a part of. We have also made improvements to the renewable energy credit. So buildings are incentivized to invest in the kind of clean energy technology that lowers emissions even further. And in LEED version 4.1, we are asking project teams to understand the embodied carbon in their material selection. This way, they can use whole building life cycle assessments and tools like environmental product disclosures to weigh options for building design and material selection with lower carbon impact. The material credits in LEED version 4.1 has been significantly simplified, and it is evident from that more than 7,100 credits have been substituted by 2,295 projects around the world. This means more projects are including sustainable and healthy materials to positively impact the health and wellness of their occupants. And I want to walk through this number a little bit slowly one more time. 7,100 credits have been substituted by 2,295 projects. When I read this number, the first reaction I had was, we don't have that many number of projects in LEED version 4.1. Where is this coming from? And what we noted was LEED version 4 projects are able to substitute LEED version 4.1 credits to be able to go further and beyond in transforming their spaces through sustainable materials and healthy materials, and creating a direct impact on the health and wellness of their occupants. To me, that is exciting. That is the testament of LEED version 4.1 success. And most importantly, it is evident that we have made things simpler and easier for people to adopt LEED, while not reducing the rigor and the quality that comes with LEED. So it's a very fascinating data that I've closely monitored, and I'm very excited to see that projects are taking advantage of LEED version 4.1 material credits. So if you have not already considered it, please review and reach out to us for any help. Now, taking this one step further, last year was the first time we had the maximum number of LEED version 4 certifications after LEED version 4 has been launched since 2012. So after almost 7 years, we have been able to hit the milestone. And that tells us that while we are here to raise the bar on the market, it is also important to bring the market along. That's one of our strongest learnings from LEED version 4. Now, bringing it back to LEED version 4.1, additionally, the construction and demolition waste management credit rewards teams for reducing the amount of construction they're doing and the amount of demolition materials they're going through. According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, 10 to 15% of materials are wasted during the construction process. 10 to 15%. So this is a real opportunity to reduce embodied carbon by recycling and sorting these material streams. And this is exciting. Adding carbon as a metric to everything we do sets the foundation upon which all new and existing buildings, and eventually communities and cities, can assess their current carbon footprint and begin mitigation. As Dave mentioned earlier, we have fully integrated ARC into LEED version 4.1, making LEED the first green building performance standard in the world. Through this integration, we are helping project teams to ensure their design, construction, and operational strategies are driving the expected performance outcomes for the project. In the first generation of LEED, we are focused on design, construction, and operations, a little bit of performance. But in the second generation of LEED, we have seamlessly integrated performance so that you are able to measure against your strategies and make the appropriate corrections to benefit your project. As you know, we have been continuously testing, developing, and evolving the LEED rating system for more than 20 years. Each iteration has had a focus. First, we inspired a community to think about LEED, and then to implement LEED. And in our second generation, we aim to transform the market again, helping our community perform to the LEED standard. Yes, performance is the future of green buildings. LEED version 4.1 is the most advanced green building system in the world. It includes a series of upgrades designed to improve our standards, encourage leadership, and make our platform more user-friendly, more accessible, and most importantly, more collaborative than ever before. LEED version 4.1 also has fundamentally transformed our rating system development process. And I'm proud of the work that we are all collectively making to ensure that LEED is able to continuously evolve and remain the market leader. Our commitment to you is to give you the best possible program, best possible LEED we can through continuous development and work. And our commitment to the planet is to provide you with the solution to tackle climate change. That's why LEED version 4.1 raised our energy standard, ASHRAE 90.1 2016, included carbon as a metric and embedded performance as an important step in our ability to deliver sustainable buildings. So we have now given you the tools and the structure. Now it is time for you to lead, to drive the change within your projects. And projects in Michigan are using the rating system, LEED version 4.1, to reach new levels of sustainability leadership. This includes TCF Center, which in 2019 became the largest LEED certified building in Michigan. TCF Center opened as the largest convention center in the US in 1960 and underwent a major renovation in 1989. Their most recent renovation included upgrades in energy saving, HVAC equipments, and energy reduction enhancements, water saving features, and a living green roof. According to Claude Molinari, TCF Center's general manager, quote, in 2019, the TCF Center Green Committee worked hard to adapt the venue's physical plant and processes to attain LEED Gold status. We didn't know at the time how this certification would benefit the alternate care facility constructed in the center for the state of Michigan during the COVID-19 pandemic. Providing negative pressure in an entire exhibit hall to resemble conditions in a regular hospital room, so conducive to healing, is just one of the many adaptations that were possible. That's a story I'm so proud of. Being able to apply design and prepare for the future. This is awesome. And Claude goes on and adds that LEED certification allows facilities to keep a standard of health and safety that is unparalleled in the industry. That is our work. That's how we raise the bar on the marketplace. That's how we help projects become better projects so that they can actually lead to better lives. So I would like to thank Claude and the entire team at TCF Center for both their leadership in sustainability and significant efforts to protect your community. That is truly phenomenal leadership. And we also thank you for taking care of the community during this pandemic crisis by sharing your facility. Now let's move on to the next exciting thing that we have been working on, recertification. It's simple. We want all LEED projects to continue to demonstrate leadership long after they are constructed and occupied. Getting a certification cannot be the destination. It's a journey. Continuous improvement is part of leadership qualities, which we all know very well. And it's important that LEED projects should take advantage of a new certification guidance, new recertification guidance, so that any LEED project, old or new, can recertify using 12 months of performance data. What I'm excited is over 490 projects have already recertified using this new guidance since 2018. And we expect this number to grow rapidly in the future. So it's clear, project teams are valuing this performance path, and they're very, very smart to be able to leverage it and prove to themselves that their strategies are working. Or when it is not, they're making the necessary corrections to make progress for their projects and eventually for their occupants. Now, the next exciting thing that we are working on, LEED Zero. If we are going to move the needle to tackle climate change, the single largest existential threat of our lifetime, probably I should say beyond this pandemic, we have only one choice: to set our sights at zero. We believe net zero is a powerful target that will move the entire industry forward to a regenerative future. This is where our leaders are going, with 17 certifications already achieved. I'm excited. 17 certifications, one in each category. LEED projects are transitioning to net zero milestone. I believe your project can too. Yes, zero carbon emissions, but also net zero energy use, water use, and waste. We have completed 17 certifications by covering each one of these categories. And I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to share a little bit of a fun fact. If you think about a LEED Zero project, I've traveled around the world. I talked to so many LEED project owners, project teams, and I've heard all kinds of things. LEED is difficult. We need more points. We need this to be balanced. This doesn't apply to local adaptability. We want GBCA to give us a better support. All kinds of things we have heard. But I also heard that projects have claimed that they are beyond platinum. They have told me over and over again, at least definitely 142 people who I close very trackly in my private notebook, have told me personally that they have gone above and beyond LEED, and they're beyond platinum. But what was surprising to me was the first LEED Zero Energy project did not come from US or Europe or Asia, but rather it came from Brazil. And the second project was not from a tier 1 city in the United States, but from Little Rock, Arkansas. So I'm still waiting for these 142 leaders in the market who claim themselves to be beyond platinum to get on that scale, measure their performance, and get a real feedback on whether they are performing at platinum or beyond platinum or maybe below platinum, because then it's not a good story for us to talk. So I just wanted to share this fun fact because, please get back on the scale. I literally view your project being put on a scale, a weighing scale. And I want you to actually take the pulse on it and score the project. And you'll be surprised. You may be closer to gold, you may be closer to platinum, or you may be beyond truly platinum, which means that you have to get to zero, because this is the simplest part of the Lead Zero program. Zeroing things out should not be difficult. Achieving something can be difficult, but zeroing things out, you just have to get rid of it. It should be pretty easy. So with that, let me get to my third favorite example. My third favorite Lead Zero energy project is the Discovery Elementary School in Arlington, Virginia. And I love this project because of the story it shares by itself. I will let you read this slide for a moment. $117,000 in annual savings to fund 2 teachers' salaries. That moves the needle. That makes the business case for Lead Zero, and that makes the business case for why climate change can be about doing well and doing good. If a school can deliver this and deliver a net positive energy balance and then preserve some money for their salaries for their teachers, there should be no excuse for any project in the world not to pursue the Lead Zero program. And in addition to these savings, in addition to the net positive energy balance, the school serves as the learning laboratory for students, our emerging future green building leaders, to get an early start on sustainability. So that's what I'm excited about. So when you tell a story like this, it's hard. It's hard not for us to be able to take that and roll it around the world, so that we can make sure that every project can actually get to the Lead Zero milestone. So you can see that I'm quite excited by this topic. Now, so far we have delivered 17 Lead Zero certifications, which I stated earlier. But the other project that catches my attention is the Colgate Palmolive Burlington site, the Vermont site, that has achieved all 4 certifications: Lead Zero Energy, Lead Zero Water, Lead Zero Waste, and Lead Zero Carbon. If a manufacturing facility can achieve all 4 certifications, then that sets another bar for projects around the world to consider that a comprehensive analysis of their portfolio is required. And most importantly, all those portfolios need to be put on a scale, measured, managed, so that we can eventually get these goalposts. So we are proving that these case studies are working at multiple levels of the project and multiple scales of the project. And we are going to help projects around the world to be able to understand these cases better and really implement these strategies so that they can eventually benefit their occupants. So I'm happy to see that hundreds of LEED projects are actively considering LEED Zero certification. I think this number is going to move up faster as soon as we come out of this pandemic. While LEED Zero is made for individual buildings, we want to accelerate change on every possible scale. And this means not only addressing isolated projects, but the cities and communities that they form. We need to see the forest through the trees. That's why we created LEED for Cities and Communities. It's a change on a grander scale. Now, in a nutshell, these programs are helping cities develop responsible, sustainable, and specific plans for green energy, water-based transportation, and many other factors that contribute to the human experience. They encompass sustainability and much more: quality of life, health, prosperity, equity, education, resilience, infrastructure, and energy. They are designed to support continuous progress towards developing better communities and cities, because better communities equal better lives. More than 100 cities and communities around the world, including Ann Arbor, are registering and certifying with us. In total, these places cover more than 53 million people. Now, I'm showing a very granular slide that's intentional. Please take a minute to just think about this slide. We'll circulate this slide after this meeting. Lena will get this slide to you. The font size is small, but my first takeaway from this slide is this: if your city is not on the list, please encourage you to take action. So while leading your project, you can also lead for your city. Please take one small step towards helping your city. The second thing I want to leave you with is this: how LEED can be layered to support people, businesses, neighborhoods, and cities. If you look at the list, at the bottom of the list, towards your right, you will notice, actually I should say towards your left, you will notice that Washington, D.C. is on the list. But so is the Golden Triangle Business Improvement District, a neighborhood within the city, a little bit further to your right. Now, this is the good news. Recently, Golden Triangle achieved LEED Platinum certification and became the first LEED certified business improvement district in the world. LEED Platinum, first LEED certified business improvement district in the world. Golden Triangle has made significant efforts to ensure a clean, safe, and vibrant neighborhood for more than 89,000 people. It's a stellar example of how to use every possible inch to improve the quality of life and living standards for every person who visits or calls it home. And USGBC headquarters, LEED Platinum office, is also proudly part of this project. Imagine if every LEED building asked their community and city to be certified. And imagine if we can connect all of that data through the ARC platform, and we know exactly the impact our buildings, communities, and cities are making. Imagine that world. That's why we are excited about this vision. So, as Dave mentioned earlier, ARC powers LEED. But we also know that there are many existing buildings that may not be ready for LEED. And to help them get started, we have introduced an incremental pathway and performance certificates that allows every project to get started regardless of where they are and make incremental progress on the following categories: energy, water, waste, transportation, and human experience. These projects can eventually get to LEED certification if they want to, but they don't need to be starting there. They can start in the very first step of understanding energy improvements or water improvements, or for that matter, improving their indoor air quality. Whatever is the priority that the project can easily tackle, they can get started. That's the key difference between the LEED pathway and the ARC pathway. In the LEED pathway, you go all in. In the ARC pathway, you go step by step. And by integrating LEED and ARC, we have allowed a seamless connectivity between these two systems. As simple as that. That's it. These are the three simple steps to remember. What I'm excited is, in 2012, when my colleague and my partner, Scott Hurst, introduced the vision of LEED Dynamic Flag, and when we evolved that vision in 2016 to be ARC, we have probably been hovering around 600 to 700 to 800 projects. But today, since the launch of the ARC platform, we have more than 9,718 projects. Yes, you see 9,500 on the slide. I'd update the number real time because I just looked up the report. It is 9,718 projects in ARC that are participating, reporting performance, measuring, managing, with close to 20,000 users actively using the platform on a daily basis to really push the boundaries of project beyond where they are. And we know that 53 million people are using that platform. And that's exciting. We are able to quantify our impact on the green building movement, on the green building community, and most importantly, learn what's working, what's not working, and be able to push the better strategies and best-in-class practices to our project teams. Now, when we talk about the performance certificate, we have close to 400 projects that have already obtained their energy performance certificates by simply getting on the scale and doing a little bit of exercise routine to prove that they're healthy and they're able to get a score. It's almost like, it's almost like all the trackers, health trackers that you all use for your own personal tracking, number of steps you took in a day. It's as simple as that. So we encourage you to really drill down into this platform. And if you don't have your project in ARC, today is the day to do it. You know why? Because 9,718 leaves me wanting. I would like to make that number a round number of 10,000. We could all use some good news in the community. So please, Michigan team, let's go. Let's push for the numbers. Let's get it over the line of 10,000. It'll be a really cool milestone for us to brag about. And with that, I had to get back to the most exciting topic of our second generation. As I mentioned, one of the key issues we have noticed over the years is that while people associate green building with energy efficiency, resource conservation, often cost savings, which we are all familiar with, they don't associate green buildings with contributing to their quality of life. Let me repeat. They understand energy efficiency. They understand resource conservation. They understand cost savings. But they don't understand green buildings have impact on their quality of life. We know that in order to realize a sustainable future for all and really making green building a mainstream concept, we need to solve this paradigm. This is why we launched the Living Standard campaign with the goal to expand the way we talk about sustainability by focusing on what matters most within our buildings. Human beings. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you want people to talk about buildings, then you must talk about the people in those buildings. And our aspiration with the Living Standard campaign is to help people make that connection and to ensure that LEED remains not only the de facto leadership standard for green building, but also a living standard. Through the power of storytelling, we hope to broaden our engagement and increase the demand for green buildings. Because we know demand changes everything. So please visit livingstandard.org and start sharing your stories. I truly believe your story will inspire someone else in the world, maybe who knows you or who doesn't know you. But after that inspiration, it'll motivate them to get involved and importantly take action. That's what we need to focus on in the second generation. So please visit livingstandard.org. And there are already hundreds of stories already posted, and there are thousands of stories that are being compiled right now. They'll be soon presented on the platform. So it'll be great to have your story. And then I want to draw your attention to 2 research reports that we did over the period of last 2 years, and a special edition of USGBC Plus that was dedicated to Living Standard, aligned with our Green Build Atlanta. You know, it's one of the most. I love the USGBC Plus magazine. So by the way, if you are not using USGBC Plus magazine, if you are not accessing it, please make sure that you access plus.usgbc.org. On top of it, if you have stories to share, feel free to reach out to our teams. They'll be more than happy to profile you in one of our future editions. But this edition of USGBC Plus was dedicated to telling the story about Living Standard, aligned with our Green Build Atlanta that we just were able to host in 2019. Now, if you look at these 3 reports, you will be able to gain a different type of perspective on how you message, how you position green buildings, and how you actually broaden engagement so that we can collectively advance our mission. Now, I also promise you, it's nice and easy read. I promise you, it's so easy read because you know what? We kept the font size big, so there shouldn't be any difficulty for you to get through it. Yeah, with this, right? You know, now the next exciting thing. All of these efforts, from ARC to LEED Zero to Living Standard, are part of our vision to ensure that the next phase of USGBC's efforts will be LEED positive, where buildings are actually generating more energy than they use and removing more carbon than they produce. And the way to get there may not always be direct. It'll require incremental steps, from a project tracked in ARC to a building getting LEED certified, to eventually getting on the scale to get to LEED Zero, and actually go beyond truly and say you're truly LEED positive. So the aspirational goal that I've set for USGBC is that we will require all LEED new construction projects to achieve LEED positive starting in 2025, and all existing buildings to be LEED positive by 2050. Let me go through this one more time. The additional goal that I've set for USGBC is that we will require all LEED new construction projects to achieve LEED positive starting in 2025. That means we are giving you 5 years to ramp up and get ready to be able to deploy a project that can be LEED positive starting 2025. And then all existing buildings to be LEED positive by 2050, which means we are giving you 30 years to take all your current assets, all your current projects, present and future, and transform them into the performance paradigm and really push the envelope so that we can make sure buildings are not the reason for carbon emissions. And we are proving that better buildings indeed equal better lives. So in the years ahead, LEED buildings must not just do less harm than traditional construction. Instead, they should be carbon positive and truly regenerative. They should generate more energy than they consume, save more water than they use, and remove more carbon than they produce, and have a positive impact on the physical, mental, and social health of its occupants. As we go through today's pandemic, we know that the amount of stress people are taking right now related to their physical, mental, and social well-being is unimaginable. It's really heartbreaking. So if we can provide a true avenue for them to be resilient in these situations through their environments, through the places that they are protected by, I think that's the biggest service we can do for humanity. So in short, LEED buildings need to give back to communities more than they take from them. This is our calling. We need to reimagine how to grow and scale our projects so that in meeting this new demand, we create better, more inclusive spaces. And that will be achieved by all of us together, because true leadership is not possible without partnership. So thank you. Thank you for being part of this second generation vision. Now, putting this all together, when we started the second generation vision in the beginning of the year, we realized that we have been looking at LEED through one lens for almost 26 years since the evolution of USGBC. Sustainability. And that's a worthy, incredible, important, and meaningful goal. But in the second generation, we need to accept that our work goes far beyond sustainability. That's why in our second generation, we are looking beyond buildings to the full spectrum of reasons of why we do this work. And then when we think about LEED, we think about sustainability, health and wellness, resilience, and equity. We think about raising the living standard for all, no matter what their circumstances entail. And we are already making that happen, because I told you a lot of stories this morning, and we have examples in our community that that's already happening. And that's why I'm very, very optimistic about our future. So a little bit of a view into the little bit of expansion plans related to GBC's offerings. LEED is at the heart of everything what we do. That will never change. But we want also to give projects an option to go further, get faster, dive deeper into the areas they care about. Sometimes they want to go deeper into energy. Sometimes they basically want to build a business case for their energy retrofit. Sometimes they really want to go and focus on sustainable sites without buildings, probably. They want to go and focus on smart grids. They are looking at environmental social governance that is basically related to the ESG trends that the investors are actually demanding from project teams. Or at the very minimum, they may be looking at zero waste and even go beyond to go to circular economy. So we wanted to be able to give them a variety of solutions that fits within the needs of the projects, and being able to have them the ability to leverage the platform that we are continuously evolving for the market, so that we can address the four pillars: sustainability, equity, resilience, and importantly, health and wellness. So we have a lot of things to discuss here. In the interest of time, I'm going to defer this for a future virtual event, which Lana will organize, and we'll deep dive into each of these topics so that we can tell you what these programs are about, and also how they are integrated with LEED. For example, all of these programs have been already integrated with LEED for communities and cities. So at a city and a community scale, we have already given them the framework to be able to start thinking about these programs, because you cannot just look at this as a building-centric view. You have to take a little bit more broader view. You have to think about smart grids. You have to think about your parks. You have to think about your, your zero waste policies. You have to think about your resilience. So a variety of things are being incorporated in LEED for cities and communities, and you'll see that more and more of that integration is going to evolve as we move into the future. Now, let's not forget that none of this would be possible without education and our credentialed stakeholders. Even after 26 years of green building, even today, one consistent input I hear from our stakeholders around the world is we need more education, we need more training, we need faster, quicker ability to educate our people. So the knowledge acquisition process is still wanted by our community. That's a good thing, but at the same time, it is also a challenging task. So please continue to focus on education and credentials. And credentials provides a mean of becoming not just a participant in this field, but a leader for your teams and for yourself. I know that many of you in the room today have at least one of these credentials after your title. And I thank you for helping uplift and guide others into the green space. You, the 205,000 lead professionals in the world, are how we move lead forward. You are our first line of defense in this mission, and you are how we create capacity for this market. So please continue to help us broaden this community, as that will help us accelerate the mission. And if you need any help, please let us know. We have a ton of tools. We can make this the fastest progress that you can make, particularly during this little bit of stay at home time. We can definitely take advantage of helping our fellow colleagues gain some additional knowledge and additional credentials so that we can continue to broaden the advocates and the knowledge to support our mission. So with that, today I want to take a moment to recognize one of our local leaders, Keith Wynn, the president of Catalyst Partners, and a lead reviewer and lead fellow. The lead fellow is the most prestigious distinction awarded by GBCI. And if you're not applied for it this year, you still have time. You can go and actually try to apply for your lead fellow designation. I think you still have time. Probably Lana can confirm that later. But anyway, regardless, if you have missed the window this year, feel free to apply next year, because lead fellow is the most prestigious distinction awarded by GBCI and recognizes outstanding lead APs who have demonstrated exceptional impact with lead. Keith has been an active leader in the evolution of sustainable methodologies used to assess, develop, and measure both buildings and programs, and participated in the development of LEAD, chairing the LEAD steering committee alongside Rob Watson. So we thank Keith for his years of partnership and leadership. So thank you, Keith. As we begin to wrap up for today, I want to turn back to the 4 pillars we discussed earlier: sustainability, health and wellness, resilience, and equity. In our second generation, these pillars will be at the heart of all of our programs. Particularly in the midst of this COVID crisis, I want to leave you thinking about one pillar in particular: equity. In times like these, I am reminded that close to 50% of the world's population still lives below the poverty line. It's no secret that the most vulnerable among us will be hit during the hardest situations, which are caused by extreme events. So we feel a sense of duty to ensure a sustainable, resilient, and equitable future for all. Now, in the last 4 to 5 weeks to 6 weeks, what is heartbreaking is that the number of people, almost 16 to 17 million people, are without a job and don't have a plan of how to carry forward their life in the very next minute. Is something that is very, very, very unfortunate. And I, at the same time, feel very fortunate that we are all able to get on a call and have a discussion about the future, while people are still surviving to take control of their present. That reminds me that we have more to do. We can do more for this community. And we have a unique opportunity to be able to influence it. So this is why we have the advanced program. This is why we have the Women in Green that encourages our young women leaders to be able to be part of the platform, to be able to learn, grow. We actually bring people to Greenville. Our Center for Green Schools spends a lot of time focusing on the schools that need help from an equity lens and from an equity point of view. We have done a lot of good work, but we believe that this is now time to raise the bar on ourselves. With LEAD, we have the social equity working credits. But the question I keep asking, along with our leadership team, is that have we gone further enough? Have we done all we can to help this community? If our aspiration is to truly deliver a higher living standard for all, have we done everything we should along with our community to deliver on that vision? The short answer is no. But we are willing and committed with the ability of the community to help us to get there. So with that, I just want to talk a little bit about our next vision, which is the USGBC equity. In 2019 Greenville, we made an announcement that USGBC will be establishing a new framework called USGBC Equity. And we have started working on that project right now by starting a listening and learning session, because we believe that we don't know enough about equity in the marketplace. We don't consider ourselves to be the leader. We don't want to come into the room with a definition of what we think it is or it is not. All what we want to do is to be able to recognize leadership, as always we have done in our community. That individuals, organizations, buildings, communities, and cities have different bandwidth. And based on their bandwidth, they are able to influence social equity already. So all of you are volunteering. We saw the proud MLab members of the Michigan community that Lana showed. Those individuals are giving their personal time to advance the cause of this mission. That's their contribution towards social equity. But at the same time, the organizations that they are working are paying USGBC membership dues, which in turn helps us to go out and actually help contribute a better quality of life for people known and unknown to us in the world. And of course, buildings can do more, communities can do more, and cities can do more. So when you look at them through these individual lenses, we know that leadership already is happening in our community, but there is not a consistent way of reading and learning, and most importantly, scaling those ideas to the next level. So our idea is very simple. Let's listen, let's learn, and let's always do what we do the best. Celebrate the leaders, scale the idea, and make it a standard wherever it's possible, and really start the next phase of our market transformation. So, like the way you showed up today, let's show up for the people who are not represented in the room. Because I know for sure that you didn't show up today just for yourself or for your family or your organization, but for the people who don't have a voice that your work still touches. And thank you for showing up. So, as I always say, what gets measured gets done. What gets done gets improved. What gets improved gets replicated. So I'm looking forward to defining this USGBC equity vision in partnership with you, so that we can elevate the conversation around equity, so we can build not only a sustainable world, but an equitable world, which I believe is much more needed than we needed 1 month ago. Thank you all for your leadership, and please stay safe, healthy, and most importantly, keep helping others.